Okay.
Ready? Okay. All right, so I'm Carla, and I'm going to be walking you through AIM Meeting 4, Agenda Item 2, called Getting Started with Action Planning. So now that we started the Make It Happen phase of AIM, we're really going to focus these meetings on putting our changes in place. There's kind of 4 steps to the planning process that we focus on during AIM, and they're up here. They're also on page 19 in your task force notebook if you want to follow along. So we start out with getting approval to make the changes, to make sure that we have the support we need from administration or outside sources. The next thing we're going to do is talk about building buy-in among the school community, because we want to have excitement to put these changes in place. We want to make sure students are excited about them, and teachers, parents, etc. The third thing that we're going to focus on is actually putting the change in place. So when I say that, what I mean is the nuts and bolts. How are we going to order the things that we need? How are we going to train teachers? That sort of thing. And then finally, we talk about planning for sustainability. And sustainability, I want you guys to think about 5 years into the future. Is this change going to still be around? And that's what we really want to hope for. So, today, this is meeting 4. We're going to focus on the first 2. And then next meeting, meeting 5, we're going to focus on these. So, don't stress. I know it seems like a lot, but that's why we break it up into pieces. Okay? So, an action plan. That is a list of all the steps, all the things that need to happen in order to make sure this change is up and running. Remember, we want these in place by next fall. So we're going to write out tasks for our action plans during these meetings, and again, focusing on getting approval and building buy-in today, and then the rest of the action plan in our next meeting. So why do we do this? It seems a little tedious at the moment, thinking about all the work that needs to be done. But I promise you that it's really important in order to make sure our team is focused and organized, and we keep things moving forward, because we want to make sure that after each meeting and going into the next meeting, we're making progress to make these changes a reality. Make sure we don't leave it all till the last minute, so to speak. During action planning, we're also going to take steps to make sure that our changes are relevant to students, because in the end, we want our students, important people in the change process, we want them to use the change. We're also going to make sure that our implementers, those people who are on the ground kind of doing the change or making sure it happens day to day, have all the tools they need to be successful. We want them to be excited about it, and we want them to know that they have the materials and things that they need in order to make it successful. And finally, we're going to build in those steps to make sure the change lasts, because you guys are doing a lot of work during AIM. We want to make sure these changes are around for many years to come. So let's take a look at our important people in the change process poster. And I was just focusing on the students and the implementers. So the students, that's who we want to use the change, so they're always the focus of our meetings. The implementers, we have to keep them in mind too, because they're the people who are going to be implementing the change on a day-to-day basis. And then our planners, that's us. Those are the people on this task force, people who are making the changes and deciding how best to implement them. So let's talk about this in terms of the changes that you all have selected. So we have a salad bar, healthy snack policy, recess equipment for the playground to check out at recess, and then classroom activity breaks in the morning and in the afternoon. So let's just go down this list and make sure we're all clear about who the students are that are going to be impacted by this change. So starting out with salad bar, who are the students that are going to be using this change? Exactly, so everyone, K-12. So let's just mark that so we know that all the students are going to be involved in that change. Who's going to be implementing the salad bar? When you think about on an everyday basis. Okay, the cafeteria staff, of course. The cafeteria staff. Oh, yes, of course. So the custodial staff is going to be responsible. They're going to have new responsibilities as well. Let's definitely keep that in mind. Okay. Now, looking around this room, we find that aim changes work best if there's someone who's willing to really champion each change. So for the salad bar, is there anyone in this room that feels passionately about that you really want to see this happen and are willing to see it through to the end? Great, Jerry, thank you. Thanks for volunteering. Okay, so Jerry, you'll be our champion. Is there anyone else who thinks that they could help Jerry out with this? Because, it'd be nice to see it, if he had some support in this group as well. Excellent, Shirley. Thank you for volunteering. That'll be really helpful for Jerry as we move forward.